Hello everyone, this is LJ with the latest Spurs chat after the last night's disastrous display which ended Woolwich 2, Spurs 1. I was going to do a thing straight after the game, but I thought I'd better calm down, and I just watched all the others. You know, the media, social media, the telly, etc. And they was all going mental, Spurs fans going absolutely nuts. So I thought maybe it's best to chill out, wait until this evening and try and put some perspective on it. So, let's start. First of all, I just want to say there's no excuses for coming out passive for a North London derby. When I looked at the team before the kick-off, I thought he's put Biss and Sarr in the middle, which I thought was a good choice. A bit of steel, rough Arsenal up a bit, and Bergvall can just do his little bits and pieces. I thought, yeah, I saw it. But how poor were they, Bissouma and Sarr. Bergvall was good again. At least he showed desire, effort, try to make things happen. But let's start with that first half. I mean, the first half hour, Spurs fans, I thought it was embarrassing. It was like a trading game to me. Attack v defence. Drag us in once again. Big game. Looked like a rabbit caught in the headlights. Went missing from the corner, lost his man. Okay, it wasn't a corner. Whether it was a corner or not, you got to defend it. Second goal, obviously Biss should have passed the ball. The run into trouble, got robbed, but Dragusin didn't even make an effort to charge or block Trossard's shot. Shocking lack of effort. Should the keeper have done better? Well, at first I thought cross shots are hard to get, but when I looked at it in slow motion replay and that, the ball did seem to bobble over his arm. So I won't have a go at him for that. He did look nervous, bless him. You know, he probably thought, what is going on here? He looked nervous with the ball at his feet. But to be fair, when it came to corners and set pieces, I thought he done well. He came out quite a few times and punched it, which is more than what Vicario does. But hopefully that will G him up now if he can handle that sort of game. He'll know now he hasn't got as much time on the ball as what he probably would normally have, or as what he's used to. The second half, he brought Ange took Sarr and Bissouma off, which did leave us a bit more open, but at least he was having a bit more of a go. But so often this season, it's the wingers that just don't take anyone on. Son was poor again. Johnson offered nothing. And Kuvalevsky looked like he was running in quicksand. And I said, I don't like to dig players out, but someone said last night if Sonny was called John Smith and he was from down the road, he wouldn't be playing. That's right. His goal was lucky. And I just do not understand Johnson. I really don't. That is an Ange buy. I've tried to stick by Ange mostly. But that was his buy, 50 million quid. People will say, well, look at the stats, look at his goals involvements. Stats, in my opinion, can often be deceiving. He's fast, Johnson. Never takes the full back on. His tracking back to help out the right back or tracking back to cover for the right back is non-existent. He's lazy. So against Everton, why don't we try Spence right back, Reggie at left back, and Porro right wing? At least Porro gets the in a good delivery, even though he was poor last night. There might be an idea to do. And Solanke, people saying he's going missing last night. The man had zero service, Spurs fans. Zero service. It don't matter who you got up front. I mean, this just makes you realise what a good player Kane was, because he could be breaking for 30 yards out, win the ball in the halfway line, take 10 yards, 15 yards and bang it in top corner or bottom corner. So it made me realise how much Kane got us out of the shit a lot. But now it's come to the thing where for Levy, because in the league especially, the players' belief and confidence is gone. I don't know if they're subconsciously playing in the cups, I don't know, but now for Levy, he's got to make a decision, in my opinion. Sack or back Ange. If you're going to sack him now. If you're going to back him, you've got to get wingers. Okay, Van der Ven comes back with Romero. Defence near enough sorted. Midfield's already there. We're still toothless up front. Arsenal left when they had a corner. They were leaving 2v2, you know, in case we broke away. You never see that. Spurs break like snails. I say, look, Kuvleski, you did it like he's running in quicksand. We need two proven class wingers with pace that will have a go. All these little links, you know. Was it Mbueno now from Brentford? Listen, what about Eze? Eze is quality and can play anywhere. He'd attack players. I don't understand it. Do you know what? I know it's easy to say in hindsight, but last night I would have started Mikey Moore. Reason is because he knows what this game means. And from the first minute, I would imagine that he would have been well up for it and he'd have been charging about it like a lunatic. When you see someone doing that, the other players often follow. Because it looked to me like Arsenal were more up for it than us. And that's sad to see. That's sad to see. So, my verdict is still on the fence, to be fair. But Ange looked like a beaten man to me after the game. And I think there was rumours he had a meeting last night, whether that's true, I don't know, I've not heard nothing yet, but I think surely he's got to say to Levy, look, too many times this season, it's just not been good enough. And I need backing in this window. I need backing in the summer window. But we could be 14th point tonight. I think it's if Man United win, I think, is it? But we're going to get slowly into a relegation battle. People say we're too good to go down. Well, I can remember a Spurs team in the late 70s going down with a good side. I can remember a West Ham team going down more recently with a good side. You can get dragged into it. You can. And I don't know what Ange can actually do. Because, in my opinion, it's not so much the defence. I think the defence have done okay considering the players that have been out, but I think it really worries me, the up front. Son offers nothing. Johnson offers nothing. And if Kulu's having a poor game, nothing. And that is really worrying for me. I hope against Everton he does start Mikey Moore. And maybe I can't see him putting Pyro on the right wing, but you've got to try something. You've got to try and do something different to get a tune out of these players. I'd imagine with Everton, who are poor, I'd imagine that David Moyes would say, look what Spurs are going through. They're a bit brittle at the minute. Excuse me. Just battle. You know, they'll be putting loads of crosses into the box. Percentage football, I call it. And you wouldn't bet against Everton scoring. And if they'd score early, I think our eyes would go down. I will say, though, the goalkeeper done okay last night. But Spence, Gray and Bergvall, they can hold their head up. I think they're the only ones that can hold their head up from last night. And that's quite a remarkable thing to say, considering their age. Especially the two 18-year-olds. You know, and I felt really sorry for them last night. And I don't want to sound, I don't know what the word is. I don't know. But I watched Sonny being interviewed after the game. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Have a look, Spurs fans. But to me, he looked like he was putting on an act. Almost crying. We're so disappointed, you know, we meet half the fans. I don't know what to say. Mate, I'm sorry, Sonny. I don't want to knock you because you're an absolute legend. You've been an absolute legend for this club. But at the moment, it looks to me like you've suddenly found time. You know, your age is quite up. You can't sprint anymore. I'll say goals lucky. You don't offer us anything anymore. that's set for dough for Levy for doing so many shirt sales. And I'm convinced that you've been given that extension of a year to look after the new Korean what's come over, so we can continue earning dough from Koreans. I really think that, and I'm sorry if people think I'm out of order, but that's what I think. It's no longer, if Levy doesn't back Ange in this window, then that says firmly to me that football is just one of the things which is being hosted by Tottenham Hotspur. And it's no longer Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. I'm not usually this down, I'm usually trying to look on the outside of it, but I'm just seeing signs, you know, that all's not right, and that begins from the top. I'm not saying Ange is the man that will turn it around. I hope he does, because when the team does click, it's brilliant to watch. I've said it before, but it's just not often enough. And I have given him time because of the injuries, and I've stuck to my word by saying you've got to give Ange 6 months with no injuries, or maybe 1 or 2 injuries. But you've got to give him 6 months with probably the best team what he can put out. And if they're still doing this poorly, then let him go. But give the man a chance. But to give the man a chance, he does need his own tools to work with. And maybe that's why he looks so down, because he can't put those players out. But we do need wingers. I know people say we need another defender, we need a left back. Yes, we do, but we've got Van der Ven and Romero coming back. Spencer's been brilliant, he's come back. You've got Reggie, you've got Porro. We need wingers bad, really bad. Richarlison came on last night, at least he was putting balls in the box. And I love the fact he gives people shit, his shithousery. Reminds me of Lamella, and I love that, especially in the North London derby. So let's just try and get some wingers, or at least one, because I think Mikey Moore can do a job on one side. But you need a winger so desperately, because Son and Johnson are just offering absolutely nothing. Nothing. As we move on to Everton, I'm not actually expecting much, to be fair. I'm really not. But we somehow need to grind out a result. We do need to somehow grind out a result. But like I said, I'd imagine that it'll be a lot of percentage football by Everton, a lot of crosses in the box, set pieces. He'll have, like, from now till Sunday to work with them. Moyes, I see him being interviewed actually, and he said that they're having trouble scoring. I wouldn't worry about it, Dave. You've got Dr. Tottenham turning up at your place Sunday, so we're bound to give you something. But yeah, it's going to be it's worrying, isn't it? We're slipping down and down. And before you know it, we're right in the mix, right in the quagmire. And that's, are we equipped to battle in a relegation thing? I don't know. These young players, they've been so good this season. Can't speak highly enough of them. Are they ready for a relegation battle? Because we haven't got any leaders, have we? I'm hoping that Romero and Van der Ven might sort them out a bit, and I'm really hoping that when Van der Ven and Romero come back, please push Gray into the centre of midfield with Bergvall. Someone, it's going to be Sarr, Basuma, Bentancur, just sitting there as a 6, because we're not going to get one, are we, in January? Sitting there as a 6 and let Gray and Bergvall do what they got to do. But someone, Ange, the coaching staff, someone have got to say to these wingers, you've got to beat your fullbacks. You've got to beat them, or you're coming off. There's no point being there. Why play out wide where you get the ball and you know you're just going to pass it back again? I mean, yesterday, I was watching them break up the right. There was Porro, there was Kulu. And I was shouting, where's Johnson then? Where is he? Johnson should be making that run down the flank, playing the ball in front of him so he can run onto it. But he don't want to do it. I don't understand. It's like when Werner, when I said last video, I think it was, when Spence was shouting at him and pointing to make the run down there. They don't want to do it. Is it a confidence thing? I don't know. But if we can all see it, why can't they? If he's telling them to do it, then tell them more. And if they're not listening, take them off. You've got to start to gamble now, Ange, with a few things, to be fair. I reckon do what I said, put Porro at right wing. At least you know you trap back and help Spence, or at the very least, Spence would pass it to Porro, Spence would overlap, Porro would play it back to him, at least he'd overlap and put the ball in. I don't see nothing wrong with that, trying that. Yeah, we're in a bit of shit here, aren't we? I haven't heard any concrete rumours. I'm hoping that Levy hasn't put all his eggs in one basket with that Muani, because that's missing out. I see a lot of Spurs fans moaning about Levy, and don't get me wrong, I will have a pop at Levy, but listen, Spurs fans, apparently PSG agreed terms, agreed everything with Spurs and with Juventus. He chose Juventus, so that ain't Levy's fault. He might be at fault for a lot of things, but that ain't his fault. And not being funny, why would you want to join Tottenham at the moment over Juventus? You wouldn't. So that's not his fault. However, it is his fault if he's put all his eggs in one basket, because that was the magic of is it Paratici? I can never pronounce his name. That's the magic for him. He used to go for a position, i.e. forward, but he'd have like 10 on his list, so he wasn't putting all his eggs in one basket. I just pray to God that he is working behind the scenes, and we're not leaving it down to Lang and Levy, because if we are, we're bollocks. We need Paratici pulling the strings unofficially, because otherwise we're in shit. That's it, a bit of a downer today. A little bit of a downer. But you know what? Before I go, I'll say this, and I spoke to my mate, and he said the same. You know, in the past, whether Arsenal were up the top end and we're down the bottom end, or vice versa, when a North London derby comes, I'm right up for it. I'm like a cat on hot bricks. My nerves kick in, I'm all over the place. When a goal goes in, I'm jumping, man, I'm giving it that, you know. I've supported Spurs for 45 years, right? And last night, there were no nerves, no trepidation, no expectancy. I just chilled there, me boy, watching it. Like I weren't bothered. I mean, I am bothered now we've lost, but I'm not like angry like I used to be. And even when we scored that goal, me and my boy looked at each other and we went, "Get in, boy." That was it. Because we just knew. And that is bad. And this is how the club has taken many of us fans, I think, in the same direction. As I said, it doesn't seem at the moment as if we're a football club. We're just one of a few businesses that's being run by Ange and Levy. That's all it seems. We're just one of a few things, like the NFL, the concerts, the boxing, the hotels, the go-karting. Football's on that list, and it's not necessarily first on that list. It's just another revenue from making money from, which also annoys me, because you can only spend what you're getting in, and Spurs have got a lot of avenues regarding revenue. And if things are to be believed, we could go out and spend 250 million without it affecting that financial fair play, or whatever you call it. I'm not saying go out and spend all that, but it's annoying when you know you got that buffer there. And if any time what you needed, it's now when we're writing this shit. Why isn't he going out there? I'm going for the likes of Eze. For God's sake, man. I don't understand it. As I said, whether you believe in Ange or not, the man needs help. He's come out and said it. He needs help, so why aren't you helping him? If you're not helping him because you don't believe in him, then sack him. It's a right mess. It is a right mess. And the leadership from the top has been so poor since they took over 20 odd years ago. I think now it's filtered through so many managers, so many rebuilds, that it's now hit the fan with this manager. It's just unfortunate that it's Ange. It could have been anyone, but it's just unfortunate it's now come to a head. And many people would say they deserve to go down. But you can't really argue with them, can you? And I know that people who are Levy lovers Levy lovers will say, yeah, but he has spent more than them and he spent about 300 million, blah, blah, blah. Yes, but you haven't spent it. You might have spent 100 million, but you haven't done what Arsenal have done and go out and spent 100 million on one player that'll make a massive difference to your team. You might have spent 100 million, but you've probably gone out and bought 6 or 7 players for 100 million. And that is the difference. That is what is annoying Spurs fans. You need to go out there now and buy 2 proven class wingers for 50, 60 million pound each. You can afford it. You've just trimmed the wage bills. You can afford that. We all know they're not paid up straight away. You don't give them 60 million quid over the table. It's over a period of their contract. So why aren't you doing it? You've got the infrastructure. You look like a big club, but you're acting like a small club. You're acting like a championship team. And if you're not careful, Levy, that's exactly where you're going to end. And that would be karma. But out of order for those fans that are paying ridiculous money to go and see this week in, week out. People that travel up to places like Newcastle and abroad to like postman leagues and in the Europa League. So the next 2 weeks are going to determine me. I'm already on the edge of like Levy out. But I like to try and be realistic. I like to try and sit on the middle and try, no matter how hard I want to go that way or that way, I try and be like realistic and look at it from both things. But these next 2 weeks or whatever it is till the February the 3rd, is it, the transfer window ends, is going to tell me a lot about the board and Levy and Ange. Because yeah, we haven't done well in transfer windows gone by, but this time, as I said, we're right in the quagmire. And this is a massive time, probably the biggest in Levy's tenure, that we are in trouble. Except for when Ramos had us bottom and Redknapp come along, bang, you sorted it out. But this is a time for you to put your money where your mouth is, or you're going to have to answer some questions, because they will be the Levy out things will get massive. Believe me, because they're not very massive at the minute. They are all over Twitter and all that, but when it comes to outside the stadium, no one follows it up. They can't be bothered. But I think if you end up going down, mate, it's only your own fault for not getting your money out. But knowing Levy, if they went down and say, well, that is why we couldn't spend, because we had to save money in case we went down. Well, if you got your money out and went and bought proven world-class players, you probably wouldn't be in this position. And yes, Ange's made mistakes. He's not blameless, but he's had a rough ride, let's be fair. I've always said give him 6 months with his team. If it don't work after that, get rid of him. But whoever's in charge, you've got to back your manager. You have to back him properly. So we'll see, Spurs fans. Sorry for a bit of a rant today. I've tried to stay impartial, as I said, but we'll have to see how it goes. I just think this is a massive couple of weeks. And I am a bit worried, to be honest with you. I actually am. That's about it. Please let me know your thoughts on Ange, Levy. See if we agree or disagree. Any questions, ask me, I'll try and get back to you. Please like and subscribe. Please, let's get this channel going. And I'll see you all again on probably Sunday or Monday night after the Everton game. Let's pray for a win. Anyway, good health. Go on you Spurs.